I don't think it's so important to be Bastian. Because it immediately sounds as if it's important to be identical with yourself. Modern approach, appeal, and there was somewhere, I think they painted it over. There was a saying written on the wall that was discovered by them from the 70s. Hi, my name is Bastian Kraft. I'm a stage director and I'm working here in Zurich at the moment for a production of The Little Mermaid, the iconic Danish fairy tale. And in just a few weeks I will start rehearsing a new production in Copenhagen, which will be Oscar Wilde's Bunbury, and I'm super excited for this production because it will be the first time I'm working in a country that doesn't speak German.
Singing and swirling, just like
Very good, Adrian. It's often the question of identity that leads me to the topics or to the text that I deal with. So maybe it's not a coincidence that both stories or both texts have a question of identity or playing with identity or transforming identity in their core. I remember when I was a kid, there was often the saying, just be yourself. And I had a very ambivalent connection to that because on the one hand, until today, I have a feeling it's really important that we get to know ourselves, and when we grow up that we find who we are. But at the same time, very often on an early age, I felt like it's a trap being confronted with this pressure to be authentic all the time. I have a feeling there is no such thing as a completely authentic self, and this sounds negative in our society, but I often ask myself whether this playing with identity and partly also deciding maybe in this context I want to be somebody else is a liberating thing. And both of these stories, both of these pieces play with this question. And that in regard to both productions, Bunbury and The Little Mermaid, is often connected to the question of gender, like expectations of the way you're perceived, connected to expectations, how you should act, which role you should play, which norms you should obey. It's interesting because here in The Little Mermaid we work with drag performers and a mixed cast with actors, and then Bunbury will be a wonderful cast of actors, but drag will also be part of the aesthetic. And this art form of drag, where the core is playing with gender roles basically, always has had a huge fascination for me because it is so very liberating to see it. And until today I find out or try to figure out why is it so liberating. Because often it's just like, it's just some glittery dress and some makeup, but then it's also the way to say, can I say fuck you? To say, it's the way to say fuck you to all the expectations and being playful with yourself. And also it's often about enjoying yourself and embracing what you suppressed. Because often growing up, for example, me, I had such joy in glittery things and I wanted the Barbie doll, but I very soon found out that I get weird looks if I pick this, so I suppressed it. And then seeing a drag performer on stage embracing this tackiness, or embracing also being feminine in a masculine perceived body, can be so liberating. In Bunbury, I think the motor to write this comedy is maybe a similar feeling, being an outsider, not being able to live your truth. I think Oscar Wilde's double life in his Victorian era as a homosexual man, living also a married life and having these both personas, was a driving force to write this comedy. But then in the piece itself, you don't really feel this problem, and this is a good thing, because he transforms this urge to lead a double life into a freedom. And he's in this piece, Bunbury, he's only focusing on the playful part of it, not on the tragic part of it. He's only focusing on the freedom to change who you are from one moment to the other in the matter of context. And of course, the characters in Bunbury, they fall in love, or they say they fall in love, but it's a very different kind of love. They love as if it's fashion. They love because a person has a certain name. They maybe also love because the person wears a tie that is yellow. This is the way that love works in this cosmos, and also how hunger works. They eat what is fashionable and not what they are hungry for. And you could say, what a superficial world this is, but in a way it is written so radically in this direction that it only creates a sense of yes, part of our identity is that, and it's also very honest to like go fully in this direction for the course of 2 hours in the theater. Because I don't think Oscar Wilde says, let's all lead our lives like this. But it's just that he says, identity and authenticity is not what you pretend to be, or what you pretend it is. Sometimes maybe authenticity is admitting also that a lot of what we think our true self is kind of artificial, is culture, is what we were brought up or what we choose to be. Could also try to do it shorter again.